Transmigrated. I land the $2 billion project, but the CEO's fiancée gives the credit to her white Moonlight and demands I become his assistant? What, you're not happy? Do you have any idea how much your sour face upsets Ethan? I demand you get on your knees and apologize to Ethan right now. Don't make this difficult for me. I looked around. The company's executives were all watching me with schadenfreude. But I stood up, slowly lit a cigarette, and sneered. Difficult? Then don't make it an issue. I gripped the edge of the table with both hands and flipped it over. That evening at the celebration dinner, the CEO's fiancée, Olivia Vance, was seated at the head table with her white Moonlight, who had recently returned to the country, David Sterling. She stood up, holding a watch worth $5 million. The Vance Group securing this $2 billion deal in Northwood is entirely thanks to David's efforts. Here, I announce that the position of Group Vice President will be held by David Sterling. This watch is an extra gift for David, on top of his bonus. With that, she personally fastened the watch onto David's wrist. Everyone present was stunned into silence. Everyone knew that I had worked overtime for a month, drinking until my stomach bled, just to land this $2 billion project. And David had merely been my assistant. Yet now, CEO Vance was handing all the credit to David alone. However, the senior executives in the room were all seasoned players who had navigated the business world for years. They were sharp. The shock lasted only a few seconds before they recovered. They quickly raised their glasses to congratulate David. The way they looked at me was filled with contempt and mockery. VP Sterling is truly young and capable, landing such a huge contract in less than 3 months at the company. Exactly. VP Sterling is indeed an elite returnee. His future is limitless. We look forward to your guidance, VP Sterling. For a moment, the private room was buzzing with excitement. David beamed, toasting everyone in turn. He occasionally shot me a provocative glare. Olivia Vance laughed lightly. Oh, stop crowding around David. Don't you think I, Olivia, the CEO of Vance Group, deserve a chance to express my thanks too? How could these old foxes not see the affection in Olivia's eyes? They clamored for the two of them to perform the ceremonial cross-cupped toast to show true sincerity. Olivia fidgeted a few times, stealing glances at me. Seeing I hadn't reacted at all, a flash of annoyance crossed her eyes. Under everyone's persistent encouragement, the two began their cross-cup toast. David deliberately wrapped his arm around Olivia's slender waist. Their eyes met, their affection palpable. The entire room erupted in enthusiastic applause. All eyes involuntarily turned toward me, filled with scorn and anticipation of my downfall. Ryan, Olivia said, setting down her glass, seemingly remembering me, her fiancé, for the first time. She curved her lips slightly, her tone entirely presumptive. While your business skills aren't as sharp as David's, you're still adequate. How about this? Starting tomorrow, you'll be David's assistant. Assist him well. Seeing I still hadn't reacted, her cousin, Mark Vance, the head of logistics, became impatient. He slammed his hand on the table and roared, Ryan, who are you giving that dead fish look to? If my family hadn't taken you in these past 3 years while you had amnesia, who knows what trash heap you'd be fighting for scraps from? You're completely worthless. Olivia's expression darkened too. What? You're not willing. You've had that sour face since you walked in. Do you know you're making Ethan unhappy? I demand you get on your knees and apologize to Ethan right now. It was only then that I snapped out of the days of having just transmigrated. I had actually crossed over into the role of the amnesiac side character. The original host's name wasn't Ryan, but Alex Thorne. He was the CEO and largest shareholder of the Thorne Group, the #1 leading enterprise in the city of Harbor. 3 years ago, his private jet malfunctioned, forcing him to parachute out. Although he survived, he lost his memory. He wandered aimlessly until he stumbled upon Olivia Vance speeding in her car in the suburbs, resulting in a severe crash. The car caught fire, and Olivia was trapped inside. Ultimately, the original host risked his life to pull her out. 1 minute after the rescue, the sports car exploded violently. When Olivia learned the original host had amnesia, she brought him back to the Vance family as a gesture of gratitude. Because Alex Thorne's personal jade pendant was engraved with the characters Chin and Chin, which the family mistook for Ryan, the Vances had always called him Ryan. Ryan stayed with the Vances for a while. At that time, the Vance family was in deep trouble. The group's business was declining sharply, and they were on the verge of bankruptcy. Olivia couldn't sleep or eat, running ragged every day. Olivia, as the novel's female lead, was naturally stunning, with a sexy and fiery figure. As they spent more time together, Ryan developed feelings for her. Even though he had lost much of his memory, his business acumen and innate sharpness for commerce hadn't vanished. He secretly stayed up late, revising several of Olivia's business proposals, and the Vance family began to halt their decline, with the situation gradually improving. When the Vances unexpectedly learned that all this was Ryan's doing, they were overjoyed, treating him like a treasure. Old Mr. Vance, in order to permanently bind Ryan to the family, abandoned the idea of helping him recover his true identity. The old man used his connections to secure new identification documents for Ryan and planned for Ryan to marry into the Vance family, serving as their lifelong workhorse. Although Ryan was a business titan, he was also a complete simp. For 3 years, the original host had dedicated himself wholeheartedly to gaining Olivia's favor and serving the Vance family diligently. Under his leadership, Vance Industries had developed rapidly over the past 3 years, transforming from a low-tier startup into the now famous Vance Group in River City. This time, Olivia had promised that as soon as Ryan landed this $2 billion deal, she would promote him to group vice president, and they would marry immediately. The original host had stayed up for over a month, drinking with the client until his stomach bled, just to secure the contract. Who would have thought Olivia would give all the credit to her white moonlight? The original host's 3 years of selfless dedication and meat compliance had earned him nothing but the Vance family's blatant betrayal and contempt. Not a single person in the Vance family respected him. In the book, this simp of an original host still held on a hope for Olivia. Eventually, the white moonlight faked an illness, and under Olivia's relentless emotional manipulation, PUA, the original host agreed to donate a kidney to save the white moonlight, ultimately dying tragically on the operating table. Thinking of this, I became furious. The original host might have been a simp, but I wasn't. He wanted to take my kidney? We'll see if the Vance family can handle the fire of my rage. Olivia grew increasingly annoyed when she saw my dark expression. Ryan, are you even listening? I demand you get on your knees and apologize to Ethan right now. Don't make this difficult for me. I stood up and looked around. All the company executives were watching me with delight at my impending doom. But I slowly lit a cigarette and gave a short, sharp laugh. Difficult? Then don't make it an issue. I grabbed the table with both hands and flipped it over. With a crash and clatter, drinks and food flew everywhere. The room was instantly a mess. Shards of broken porcelain and glass, soup, and liquor coated everything. Olivia's pristine white dress suit was instantly stained. Everyone in the room, except for a few of us, including myself, was drenched. Everyone looked utterly ruined. The entire room fell into a deathly silence. Everyone was stunned by my insane action. Olivia snapped back to reality, her anger instantly boiling over. Ryan, have you lost your mind? David, after a moment of shock, a flicker of wild joy crossed his eyes. He tugged at Olivia's sleeve with a look of grievance. Liv, it's all my fault. I shouldn't have taken this project. Ryan must be jealous. Liv, I don't care what happens to me. Olivia was heartbroken and quickly pulled his hand to comfort him. Oh, David, you were so kind. How could this be your fault? It's all Ryan's pettiness. I've given him too much credit. She turned to glare at me, her eyes shadowed with malice. Ryan, get on your knees and apologize to David right now, or don't expect me to ever forgive you. Mark Vance, who had just wiped the caviar from his face, felt the veins in his forehead bulge. He grabbed a bottle of red wine and rushed menacingly toward me. Ryan, you useless bum. You're asking to die. Heh. Before I transmigrated, I was the national sauna champion. The original host, despite being a simp, had lived a life of luxury for years. His physical condition was excellent. Did Mark think he could take me on with his little frame? With a thud, the wine bottle shattered instantly as I blocked it with my arm. Wine and glass shards sprayed everywhere. The executives all cried out and quickly scattered. A flicker of excitement flashed in my eyes as I raised my hand and fiercely clamped down on Mark's neck, slamming him onto the floor. I casually snatched an empty wine bottle and brought it down hard on his head. Smash! Glass shattered again, and Mark's scream echoed throughout the room. Blood trickled down from his forehead. The once arrogant young Master Vance was now writhing on the floor like a dead dog, moaning. My head. Sis, save me. I want him dead. Mark screamed, clutching his head, his eyes full of malice. The whole room was dead silent. Everyone was stunned by the gruesome scene unfolding before them. The executives who had been gloating earlier all turned deathly pale. Several female executives shrieked in terror. Olivia Vance was completely stunned. She never expected that I, who had always been submissive, would suddenly lash out violently. Ryan, how dare you? She shrieked and lunged at me. I raised my hand and slapped her across the face. The loud crack echoed in the private room. Olivia's head snapped to the side. The entire room was stunned again. Was this the same simp who was always obedient to CEO Vance? For the first time, a look of panic and confusion appeared in Olivia's eyes. She clutched her swollen cheek, staring at me in disbelief, her voice trembling. You dare to hit me? I delivered another slap to the other side of her face. Olivia Vance, if I hadn't saved you back then, the grass would be 3 feet high over your grave. For the past 3 years, I've given you my heart and soul, without complaint, and I turned your near-bankrupt little company into the powerhouse it is today. I kicked her in the knee. Her legs buckled, and she dropped straight to her knees. And how did you repay me? You treated me like a dog, coming when called and sent away when dismissed. I worked my fingers to the bone to land that $2 billion deal for you, and you turn around and give all the credit to your white Moonlight. And you had the nerve to drink that cross-cup toast with this pretty boy right in front of me. I slammed another hard slap on her face. Where's your respect? Olivia Vance was the powerful CEO of Vance Group. Yet now she was kneeling, being slapped by me, the man she always looked down upon. The humiliation was overwhelming. After struggling for a moment without getting up, she shrieked, "Ryan, you're insane. Putting aside the facts, isn't all of this something you did willingly just to please me? You love me so much. Isn't it just because I drank that toast with David just now and made you jealous? Can't you just be magnanimous?" It really is a female-oriented novel. I was so angry at her utterly cliché female lead rhetoric that I laughed. Magnanimous? I squatted down, reached out, and pinched her delicate chin. Then why don't you be magnanimous now that you're kneeling in front of me, taking a beating? Let's just pretend nothing happened, shall we? Just then, I sensed a powerful gust of wind rushing toward me. I instinctively dodged, launching a fierce right kick that connected squarely with the attacker's abdomen. With a thud, David Sterling, who had tried to sneak attack me with a wine bottle, was sent flying, slamming hard against the wall. He slid down the plaster. Damn it, this damn green tea still dares to sneak attack me. I rushed forward quickly, grabbed his head, and slammed it against the wall repeatedly. In a female-oriented novel, logic won't work. Only physical force applies. Olivia Vance went completely ballistic when she saw David being beaten. "Ryan, stop it. I can overlook you hitting me, but you dare to touch David. I will make you pay the price. Call the police. Call 911 now. I want to see Ryan locked up for life." The stunned executives finally snapped out of it. They frantically pulled out their phones to call the police. I froze for a moment. This female-oriented world actually has cops? I'm miscalculated, completely miscalculated. Recovering quickly, I whispered only one sentence in David's ear. His face instantly changed. He shouted frantically, "No, don't call the police. Quick, hang up." Everyone froze in place, unsure whether to make the call or not. Seeing he was finally on the right track, I let him go for the moment. Olivia Vance rushed over to check his injuries, her eyes filled with pity. David's face was a mask of panic. "Liv, please don't call the police. The company just landed this big deal. If this gets blown up today, the damage to the partnership and the group's bottom line will be immeasurable. Liv, you and Ryan are still engaged after all. If this gets into the media, the Vance family's reputation." David really lives up to his male lead status. He had a quick mind. He formulated that defense in such a short time. Sure enough, David's analysis moved Olivia to tears. "David, you are truly too kind. Even in this state, you're thinking about the company, about my Vance family." I couldn't be bothered to expose him on the spot. This David was a venomous snake, and it was better to keep him around to deal with the Vances. I gave David another hard kick and then strode out. Olivia was furious, standing up and roaring, "Ryan, where are you going? If you dare walk out of this room, don't ever come back. I'm telling you, if you don't kneel and apologize to David and me, I will never forgive you." I turned my head slightly, looking at her with a playful sneer. "Oh, really? We are completely over, Olivia Vance. Why don't you kneel down and beg me right now, and maybe I'll reconsider." Olivia exploded on the spot. She gritted her teeth, clenching her fists tight. I couldn't be bothered with her impotent rage any longer and strode out of the private room. Not a single person dared to step forward and stop me. The crowd instinctively backed away a few steps, their eyes showing a degree of fear. "Ryan, you bastard. You're just a dog to my Vance family. You think you can survive without the platform of the Vance family?" I didn't even bother to look back as I walked. According to the book's plot, the Thorne Group was still thriving under the management of Vice President Lily Thorne. I didn't immediately return to Thorne Group. Instead, I went to the police station to get my original driver's license reissued, and then to the bank to get my bank cards reactivated. I stared at the countless zeros in my bank account. It seemed like something I'd only seen in the city of Chengdu before I transmigrated. I immediately flew to a small island in the South Pacific for a vacation. Having just struck it rich, a little relaxation was in order, of course. I was lounging in a beach chair, gazing at the blue sky and sea, sipping a rich red wine, watching the bikini-clad women on the sand, and having two supermodels massaging my legs. Now, this was the ultimate luxury of the rich. But the good times didn't last long. After only 3 days, Lily Thorne found me. Lily Thorne's beauty surpassed even Olivia's, especially her perfectly straight and long legs, which put Olivia's to shame by several blocks. She looked at me, covered her mouth, and tears began to stream down her face. I stroked the jade pendant on my chest and couldn't help but sigh. This pendant was a gift from Lily Thorne. Thorne was me, and she was the Lee in her name, which sounds like the second character. She was a scholarship student supported by the Thorne family and had lived in the Thorne mansion since childhood. After graduating from a prestigious overseas university, she interned at the Thorne Group. Lily Thorne climbed the ranks from the ground floor to vice president through sheer hard work. After the original host disappeared, she suppressed the news to maintain stability in the group. For the past 3 years, she had been searching for me constantly in secret. In the book, after Alex Thorne died, Lily Thorne went completely mad and fully turned dark. The Vance family vanished from the face of the earth overnight. Ultimately, Lily Thorne couldn't escape the law either, ending in a tragic fate. I smiled slyly at her. Lily, long time no see. Her emotions suddenly broke. She threw herself onto me, her fists, laced with the scent of perfume, raining down on my chest. Alex, you bastard. Wah! Do you know how I've been for these 3 years? Do you know how hard it was to hold the board back when you were gone for a full 3 years without a trace? Do you know how worried I was about you? I thought I'd never see you again. Wah! She stopped hitting me, sobbing against my chest, her delicate shoulders trembling uncontrollably. I held her tightly, an overwhelming wave of tenderness rising in my heart. I'm sorry. I had amnesia these past 3 years. I only remembered everything 3 days ago. She suddenly lifted her head, her face etched with shock. I recounted everything that had happened over the last 3 years. The Vance family? Lily Thorne's eyes turned cold. That Vance group that suddenly rose to prominence in River City over the last 3 years. I nodded. They deliberately concealed the fact that I had amnesia from the accident 3 years ago. Also, they could chain me down to work like a slave for them. A chilling intent to kill flashed in Lily Thorne's eyes. They dare to treat you like that. Don't rush to act. I have my own plans. I patted her hand in comfort. The Vance family will definitely pay for what they've done. The next day, Lily Thorne and I flew back to the city of Harbor together. I called a board meeting immediately. The few shareholders who had been the most vocal in assuming I was dead were aghast. They exchanged glances, then reluctantly stood up to challenge me, accusing me of gross irresponsibility for being absent for 3 years. They even arrogantly demanded my immediate resignation. These hypocrites in the female-oriented world still need to be disciplined with physical force. I directly choked the leading shareholder by the neck, hoisting him up with one hand. I only let go when he was about to pass out. He knelt on the ground, his face bright red. He clutched his throat, coughing violently, his eyes filled with terror. He didn't dare utter another word. With a bang, I slammed a dagger deeply into the surface of the conference table, narrowing my eyes as I surveyed the room. Who the hell has an opinion? Step forward. The other shareholders were awed by my ruthless methods. They instinctively lowered their heads when they met my gaze. Seeing these ringleaders instantly subdued, Lily Thorne shot me a look of adoration. She had been tormented by these men countless times over the past 3 years, often hiding to wipe away tears after meetings. Who would have thought that on the very first day of my return, I would pin them down so thoroughly? I then issued my first strategic directive. Thorne Group would immediately enter the River City market. This wasn't just about dealing with the Vance family. River City wasn't far from the city of Harbor and had only recently begun to develop in recent years. It was the perfect time to seize market share. Furthermore, I knew all the major forces and development plans in River City like the back of my hand. It was like giving a tiger wings. 1 month later, as Lily Thorne and I were driving toward River City in the CEO's motorcade, Olivia Vance's phone calls kept coming in. I ignored them all. Then, she sent a voice message. Ryan, get your ass in front of me within the hour. You've made your point. You've caused enough trouble. What more do you want? If you come back now and apologize to Ethan, I can pretend nothing happened. Otherwise, don't expect my forgiveness. I cursed her as an idiot, then rolled down the window and tossed the phone out. I had already reissued my original number. The Ryan identity was no longer necessary. Lily Thorne hugged my arm and spoke softly. Ryan, I already had people look into the internal situation at Vance. That idiot David is an amateur. He knows nothing. After he took over as VP, he lost several major contracts. In just over a month, Vance's performance has already started to sharply decline. David is blaming everything on the subordinates, yelling at everyone at Vance daily, and he even fired a few genuinely capable people. Honestly, I think we don't even need to lift a finger. Vance will self-destruct soon enough. I wasn't surprised that Vance was in chaos. For a lovesick fool like Olivia to hand corporate decisions over to a con artist, it would be a miracle if the company improved. Lily Thorne continued. Olivia only remembered to contact you now because she's probably truly desperate. Her star-like eyes stared fixedly at me. Ryan, you don't still have feelings for her, do you? I pinched her soft, rosy cheek and pulled it hard. What are you thinking, silly girl? Ow, that hurts. Lily Thorne playfully batted my hand away, but a sweet smile bloomed on her face. I was just a little worried. After all, you two were together for 3 years. Thinking of the original host's 3 years of simping, my face flushed. Nonsense. My brain was broken for those 3 years. Don't ever mention it again. Lily Thorne giggled, covering her mouth. I decisively planted a kiss on her flawless cheek. Besides, my Lily is prettier, and her figure is better than hers. With you here, how could I possibly look at another woman? Lily Thorne's pretty face instantly flushed scarlet. She nestled into my embrace, too shy to look up at me. After a long moment, she whispered softly, Ryan. Don't ever leave me again, okay? I touched her pretty face and found she was crying again. I held her tightly and squeezed out a single word. Okay. Just as we were checking into the Imperial Grand Hotel in River City, we unexpectedly ran into Olivia Vance, who was entertaining business partners. She suddenly called out to me from behind, her voice laced with suppressed anger. Ryan, stop right there. I had Lily Thorne go ahead into the elevator before turning back to face her with cold indifference. Olivia stared at me, trembling with rage. She had clearly seen a woman acting intimately with me just now. Although she couldn't see her face clearly, that figure, which was even hotter than her own, made it impossible to suppress the fury in her heart. Ryan, you bastard. You don't answer your phone, you don't reply to texts, and now you're entering a hotel with another woman? Are you even capable of being faithful to me? Tell me, who is that woman? Have you been with that vixen all this time? I watched her lose it, a slight smile touching my lips. Ms. Vance, have you forgotten we have no relationship anymore? I suddenly seemed to remember something and shifted my tone. And even if we did have a relationship, why is it only acceptable for you to have a white moonlight, but not for me to have one? As expected, a dirty heart sees dirt everywhere. The last sentence was what I had said to her the night her white moonlight returned. Olivia had hosted a welcome dinner for David, and the original host went to pick her up, only to catch them hugging outside a bar. The original host confronted her furiously, and Olivia had replied with impatience. Ryan, David and I are completely innocent. If anything was really going on between us, would I still be engaged to you? As expected, a dirty heart sees dirt everywhere. I returned that last sentence to her, word for word. Olivia froze instantly. Then she quickly laughed. Ryan, you're really something. You're so in love with me. You hired a woman to act a part. You just want to make me jealous, right? You want me to pay more attention to you, to care about you more? Huh, I'm telling you, I won't fall for your tricks. These little games you play don't work on me. The real reason you haven't been at the company these past few days is to see if we can function without you, right? To gloat at my failure. Ryan, you are truly vicious. Yes, over the past month you've been away from the company. Our Vance group has encountered some trouble. But did you know? The City of Harbor's #1 leading enterprise, the Thorne Group, is entering the River City market. Once our Vance group lands the Thorne Group's project, our Vance family will soar to the heavens. Come back now, apologize to David, and honestly return to being his assistant. And there's still time. Otherwise, the future Vance family will be a presence you can only look up to from afar. By then, even if you kneel down and beg me, I won't spare you a single glance. Just then, her phone rang abruptly. I recognized the ringtone. It was one she had set specifically for David. After answering, her face changed dramatically. What? Your kidney doesn't feel well. Wait for me. I'm coming right over. After hanging up, she rushed off, acting as if I her fiancé, no longer existed. Heh, I left, and this David still hasn't given up? Still plotting to get my kidney and take advantage of me? His good days were numbered. After Olivia left, I instructed my assistant, who was standing nearby, find a private investigator to keep an eye on everything Olivia Vance and David Sterling do. The assistant agreed immediately and rushed off to handle it. Staying in a hotel is nothing compared to a luxury estate. The next day, I had my assistant arrange the purchase of a top-tier estate. The assistant informed me that Olivia had been frequenting the Imperial Grand Hotel for the past few days, trying to find my whereabouts. But the hotel itself was a property owned by the Thorn Group, so they couldn't release any information to her. 1 week later, the Thorn Group's $10 billion project was up for public tender at the Imperial Hotel. Lily Thorn and the group's senior management arrived early to set up the venue. I arrived later with my assistant and bodyguards. Unexpectedly, right at the hotel entrance, we ran into the Vance family group again. Olivia was dressed beautifully, with meticulous makeup. David Sterling and Mark Vance were with her, both in designer wear, looking arrogant. Seeing me, Mark was stunned for a second, then a mocking smile appeared on his face. "Ryan, what are you doing here? Don't tell me you couldn't make it and came to apply to be a hotel security guard?" David Sterling let out a scornful laugh. "Maybe he's here to bid on Thorne's $10 billion project too?" Mark glanced at the entourage behind me and sneered. "Him? He really thinks hiring a few actors makes him a business titan. He's just a good-for-nothing dependent on the Vance family's charity. How could he possibly bid on a Thorne project?" I stretched my limbs, my bones cracking audibly. I stared at the two idiots with a half-smile. "Oh, my hands are getting itchy again. I really want to play with a couple of fools." Mark Vance and David Sterling's faces instantly changed. They instinctively retreated 2 steps. The memory of being brutally beaten by me at the celebration dinner was still fresh in their minds. Fear began to surface on both their faces. You don't mess around," Mark shouted, trying to sound tough. "This is Thorne territory." I playfully advanced another 2 steps. "So what?" David backed away continuously, his tone starting to waver. "Ryan, I advise you to behave yourself. We are here to bid today. If you dare cause trouble, Thorn Group will never let you go." I feigned an attack, making the 2 jump in fright, and they quickly fled into the hotel. They ran a good distance before looking back at me, afraid I might crazily pursue them. The other Vance executives also kept their distance. Olivia Vance's expression was complicated when she saw this. She quickly hurried to catch up with me. "Ryan, stop messing around. You've been jealous long enough. There has to be a limit. I'll give you one last chance. David's kidney is failing. As long as you agree to donate a kidney to him, I'll agree to marry you." I immediately slapped her across the face. "Olivia Vance, are you actually treating me like an idiot, asking me to donate a kidney to David? And you still expect me to be grateful? Marry you? Trash like you? You really think I'd be interested? Pah, what a joke." With that, I didn't look at her again and strode inside. Olivia clutched her face, screaming behind me in frustration. "Ryan, you bastard. Even now you're playing hard to get. I'm telling you you're finished. Once I land the Thorn Group's $10 billion project, I'll make you kneel before me and beg." The tender meeting room was packed. Business elite from all over River City were eagerly awaiting the event. After all, the Thorn Group, the #1 giant from the city of Harbor, was an entity beyond their reach. Up until now, it had always been Vice President Lily Thorn addressing the crowd from the podium. This time, it was rumored that the mysterious largest shareholder of Thorn, Alex Thorn, the CEO of Thorn Group, will make a public appearance, causing quite a sensation. The Vance family executives sat in the audience, all looking confidently prepared. Their Vance family had risen very quickly over the past few years. Many of their business lines heavily overlapped with Thorn's. It could be said that throughout all of River City, the Vance family had the highest probability of winning the bid. Many in attendance cast envious glances toward the Vance contingent. I entered with the Thorn Group's senior management. Thorn's vice president, Lily Thorn, stepped slightly behind me like a shy young wife, standing at my side. Though the number of people entering was small, the sheer aura was like an army of 10,000. It was earth-shattering. The entire room was stunned, followed by an uproar. Many recognized me. I was the original fiancé of the Vance family. How was this possible? How could he be the legendary CEO of Thorn Group? Alex Thorn. The entire Vance contingent was dumbfounded. Olivia Vance screamed and shot to her feet. "Impossible. How could you be Alex Thorn? You were just a simp catering to me. How could you possibly be the CEO of Thorn Group?" The moment these words left her mouth, The expressions of all Thorne executives changed. Lily Thorne's face instantly turned cold. She snatched the microphone and barked fiercely, "Ms. Vance, if you dare insult the CEO of my Thorne Group again, I will immediately have security escort every single member of the Vance family out." The other executives glared at the Vance Group, their warning clear. Olivia Vance was momentarily silenced by Lily Thorne's imposing presence, her face shifting from green to white. She seemed to have finally registered the reality, but she never could have imagined that before I lost my memory, I was the business titan, Alex Thorne, CEO of the Thorne Group. David Sterling and Mark Vance were completely shocked. They slumped in their seats, their minds a complete blank. The other Vance members exchanged uneasy glances, their expressions grim. The bidding result was, unsurprisingly, not the Vance family. Olivia Vance instantly erupted. She angrily stood up, pointing at me, and questioned loudly, "Alex Thorne, this is unfair. You're using this to take personal revenge. Fine, even if I was wrong, that I shouldn't have treated you that way. But are you really going to stand by and watch my Vance family collapse?" I looked at the Vance Group with mockery. My cold, emotionless voice resonated throughout the hall. "Yeah, so what if I'm taking personal revenge? I just want to watch your Vance family get knocked back down to size, so what?" At this, the entire room erupted in shocked whispers again. Arrogant, truly arrogant. But then again, I, Alex Thorne, had the capital to be arrogant. At this moment, everyone looking at the Vance Group saw only schadenfreude. The Vance family dared not speak out in anger. Seeing they were still unconvinced, I tossed the Vance family's bid document down like trash. "Olivia Vance, is this the bid document from your Vance family?" All the data was filled in from an online search, and the content is completely unoriginal. "You expect to win with this garbage? Dream on. What is this junk?" Olivia picked up the bid document from the floor. I used to prepare all the company's bid documents before, so Olivia, only having half a brain for business, hadn't noticed any problems with the document before. Now, with my pointed remark, she saw the flaws. Her face grew uglier, and the fingers clutching the document turned white from the force. She glared at David Sterling, gritting her teeth. "David, is this the bid document you prepared? Is this what you call the foolproof plan?" David's face turned crimson under everyone's gaze, and he stammered, unable to speak. I couldn't be bothered to watch them engage in infighting, so I ordered the security guards to escort them out. Olivia's weeping faded into the distance. "Alex Thorne, I know I was wrong. You can't do this to me." In the following period, the Vance Group's performance plummeted. Its stock price hit the daily lower limit day after day. The Vance Group faced the risk of being delisted. This crisis was even more severe than the one 3 years prior. Those who had rushed to curry favor with my Thorne Group now viciously kicked the Vance family while they were down, showing no mercy. Olivia Vance went frantic, completely unable to cope. Old Mr. Vance was so enraged he was hospitalized. Olivia cornered me everywhere, ambushing me at the River City branch for half a month. When she learned I had returned to the city of Harbor, she stood outside the Thorne Group headquarters building for over a week. One day, just as I was exiting the Thorne building, Olivia fell to her knees with a thud. Alex Thorne, I was wrong. Please save me, save my Vance family. Our Vance family is collapsing. I truly have no way out. It's all my fault. As long as you promise to help me, I'll do anything you ask. Alex, I'm still pure. I didn't let David touch me. Please, just give me one more chance." I looked down at her with cold indifference. Olivia Vance's hair was disheveled, her eyes hollowed out, and she looked utterly haggard, completely stripped of her former arrogance. "Olivia Vance, you have the nerve to beg me for help. I worked my heart out for your Vance family for 3 years, and what did I get in return? In order to be your white Moonlight's assistant? Tell me, what were you thinking? Your Vance family is about to fail, so go beg your white Moonlight. Why are you begging me?" Olivia shook her head frantically, tears streaming down her face. "I was wrong, Alex. I betrayed you. David is a complete scoundrel. He embezzled all of the Vance family's liquid assets." Her eyes were filled with regret, and she cried until she couldn't speak. But I asked her a question that seemed completely out of context.